He spent months preparing his talks. He practiced as he sat in the saddle galloping to college and back. He practiced his speeches as he milked the cows. And then he mounted a bale of hay in the barn, and with great gusto and gestures harangued the frightened pigeons about the issues of the day. But in spite of all his earnestness and preparation, he met with defeat after defeat. He was 18 at the time, sensitive and proud. He became so discouraged, so depressed, that he even thought of suicide. And then suddenly he began to win, not one contest, but every speaking contest in college. Other students pleaded with him to train them, and they won also. After graduating from college, he started selling correspondence courses to the ranchers among the sandhills of western Nebraska and eastern Wyoming. In spite of all his boundless energy and enthusiasm, he couldn't make the grade. He became so discouraged that he went to his hotel room in Alliance, Nebraska, in the middle of the day, threw himself across the bed, and wept in despair. He longed to go back to college, he longed to retreat from the harsh battle of life, but he couldn't. So he resolved to go to Omaha and get another job. He didn't have the money for a railroad ticket, so he traveled on a freight train, feeding and watering 2 carloads of wild horses in return for his passage. After landing in South Omaha, he got a job selling bacon and soap and lard for Armour & Company. His territory was up among the Badlands, and the cow and Indian country of western South Dakota. He covered his territory by freight train and stagecoach and horseback and slept in pioneer hotels, where the only partition between the rooms was a sheet of muslin. He studied books on salesmanship, rode bucking bronze shows, played poker with the Indians, and learned how to collect money. And when, for example, an inland storekeeper couldn't pay cash for the bacon and hams he had ordered, Dale Carnegie would take a dozen pairs of shoes off his shelf, sell the shoes to the railroad men, and forward the receipts to Armour & Company. He would often ride a freight train 100 miles a day. When the train stopped to unload freight, he would dash uptown, see 3 or 4 merchants, get his orders, and when the whistle blew, he would dash down the street again, lick at his split and swing onto the train, while it was moving. Within 2 years, he had taken an unproductive territory that had stood in the 25th place, and had boosted it to first place among all the 29 car routes leading out of South Omaha. Armour & Company offered to promote him, saying, "You have achieved what seemed impossible," but he refused the promotion and resigned, went to New York, studied at the American Academy of Dramatic Arts, and toured the country, playing the role of Dr. Hartley in Polly of the Circus. He would never be a Booth or a Barrymore. He had the good sense to recognize that, so back he went to sales work, selling automobiles and trucks for the Packard Motor Car Company. He knew nothing about machinery and cared nothing about it. Dreadfully unhappy, he had to scourge himself to his task each day. He longed to have time to study, to write the books he had dreamed about writing back in college. So he resigned. He was going to spend his days writing stories and novels, and support himself by teaching in a night school. Teaching what? As he looked back and evaluated his college work, he saw that his training in public speaking had done more to give him confidence, courage, poise and the ability to meet and deal with people in business than had all the rest of his college courses put together. So he urged the YMCA schools in New York to give him a chance to conduct courses in public speaking for people in business. What? Make orators out of business people? Absurd. The YMCA people knew. They had tried such courses and they had always failed. When they refused to pay him a salary of $2 a night, he agreed to teach on a commission basis, and take a percentage of the net profits if there were any profits to take. And inside of 3 years they were paying him $30 a night on that basis, instead of $2. The course grew. Others heard of it, then other cities. Dale Carnegie soon became a glorified circuit rider covering New York, Philadelphia, Baltimore and later London and Paris. All the textbooks were too academic and impractical for the business people who flocked to his courses. Because of this, he wrote his own book entitled Public Speaking and Influencing Men in Business. It became the official text of all the YMCAs as well as of the American Bankers Association and the National Credit Men's Association. Dale Carnegie claimed that all people can talk when they get mad. He said that, if you hit the most ignorant man in town on the jaw, and knock him down, he would get on his feet and talk with an eloquence, heat and emphasis that would have rivaled that world-famous orator William Jennings Bryan at the height of his career. He claimed that almost any person can speak acceptably in public, if he or she has self-confidence and an idea that is boiling and stewing within. The way to develop self-confidence, he said, is to do the thing you fear to do, and get a record of successful experiences behind you. So he forced each class member to talk at every session of the course. The audience is sympathetic. They are all in the same boat, and, By constant practice, they develop a courage, confidence, and enthusiasm that carry over into their private speaking. Dale Carnegie would tell you that he made a living all these years, not by teaching public speaking, that was incidental. His main job was to help people conquer their fears and develop courage. He started out at first to conduct merely a course in public speaking, but the students who came were businessmen and women. Many of them hadn't seen the inside of a classroom in 30 years. Most of them were paying their tuition on the installment plan. They wanted results, and they wanted them quick, results that they could use the next day in business interviews, and in speaking before groups. So he was forced to be swift and practical. Consequently, he developed a system of training that is unique, a striking combination of public speaking, salesmanship, human relations and applied psychology. A slave to no hard and fast rules, he developed a course that is as real as the measles and twice as much fun. When the class is terminated, the graduates form clubs of their own, and continue to meet fortnightly for years afterward. One group of 19 in Philadelphia met twice a month during the winter season for 17 years. Class members frequently travel 50 or 100 miles to attend classes. One student used to commute each week from Chicago to New York. Professor William James of Harvard used to say that the average person develops only 10% of his latent mental ability. Dale Carnegie, by helping businessmen and women to develop their latent possibilities, created one of the most significant movements in adult education. Lowell Thomas, 1936. The Dale Carnegie Course is the Dale Carnegie Course in Effective Speaking and Human Relations, probably the most popular program ever offered in developing better interpersonal relations. This course is designed to develop self-confidence, the ability to get along with others in one's family and in social and occupational relations, to increase ability to communicate ideas, to build positive attitudes, increase enthusiasm, reduce tension and anxiety, and to increase one's enjoyment of life. Not only do many thousands of individuals enroll in this course each year, but it has been used by companies, government agencies and other organizations to develop the potential of their people. The Dale Carnegie Sales Course. This in-depth participative program is designed to help persons currently engaged in sales or sales management to become more professional and successful in their careers. It covers the vital, but little understood element of customer motivation, and its application to any product or service that is being sold. Salespeople are put on the firing line of actual sales situations, and learn to use motivational selling methods. The Dale Carnegie Management Seminar. This program sets forth the Dale Carnegie principles of human relations, and applies them to business. The importance of balancing results attained with the development of people potential to assure long-term growth and profit is highlighted. Participants construct their own position descriptions, and learn how to stimulate creativity in their people, motivate, delegate and communicate, as well as solve problems and make decisions in a systematic manner. Application of these principles to each person's own job is emphasized. If you are interested in any of these courses, details on when and where they are offered in your community can be obtained by writing to Dale Carnegie and Associates Incorporated, 1475 Franklin Avenue, Gardens T, New York 11530. Other books: How to Stop Worrying and Start Living by Dale Carnegie, a practical, concrete, easy to read, inspiring handbook on conquering work and fears. Simon & Schuster, 1230 Avenue of the Americas, NYC 10020. Lincoln the Unknown by Dale Carnegie, a fascinating story of little-known facts and insights about this great American. Dale Carnegie and Associates Incorporated, 1475 Franklin Avenue, Gardens T, New York 11530. The Quick and Easy Way to Effective Speaking by Dorothy Carnegie. Principles and Practical Implementation of Expressing Oneself Before Groups of People. Dale Carnegie and Associates Incorporated, 1475 Franklin Avenue, Gardens T, New York 11530. The Dale Carnegie Scrapbook, edited by Dorothy Carnegie, a collection of quotations that Dale Carnegie found inspirational, interspersed with nuggets from his own writings. Simon & Schuster, 1230 Avenue.